All right. Oh, it feels like it's been forever since I've done one of these YouTube lives, and it's what been 3 weeks, probably 3, 4 weeks, something like that. Oh, though it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy week 6 to you all as well. Hope everyone is doing all right. We've got a lot of news updates this morning, a lot of injury updates, a lot of depth chart changes, like in Arizona, like KJ's asking right now. Michael Carter out today, and if he is Bam Knight or Demercado in full PPR, all of this stuff is happening on the fly. So here we are getting you set for week 6. Give me 1 second here. I am multitasking, and safe to say I'm not a great multitasker, and I will get to your questions here in just a second. KJ, to your question, is Michael Carter out today? He is not out, but Schefter is just reporting that it is going to be more Bam Knight today, that he is starting over Michael Carter. So between the two running backs, between Bam Knight and Amari Demercado, I'm still going to go Bam Knight, just because I don't think Demercado is going to be on the field like at all after what happened last week. At the same time, though, I'm just realize I would hope that you understand that the ceiling still isn't very high, just with Jacoby Brissett under center today for Arizona going into Indianapolis. Ryan picked 2 between Emeka, Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle, and T-Mac. For me, it's Emeka and it's Jalen Waddle. I know Waddle has a tougher matchup against the Chargers today, but he is, it is not rocket science to say that when Tyreek Hill is out, Jalen Waddle kind of steps up and thrives. I'm going to expect that to continue today. Josh asked, QJ is out, so MK, is Quentin Johnson playing today? No, he is not. He is also out today. I got to start Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Travion in non-PPR help. And personally, it's Charbonnet for me. Well, maybe go Ken Walker. So here's really here's the way to look at it, right? If you play Ken Walker, you're going for the fact that he may get more yards, right? Because that's all that he can bank on right now, because goal line stuff goes to Zach Charbonnet. So I would maybe go Ken Walker, then Charbonnet, then Travion, right? Travion is kind of the odd duckling in this situation. If you want, I struggle to even say if you want the points, because it's not even a guarantee that Zach Charbonnet is going to find the end zone again. So I think in that situation, go with Ken Walker. Elijah on YouTube, Bill Krosky, Chase Brown, Michael Carter. That's a Bill Krosky merit one for me, and it's a pretty easy one. Nick over on YouTube, happy Sunday. Is Kendre Miller worth a PPR flex start? I think if you've got no one else, right, and you're kind of desperate, I still, and I should also say the format too. Like if it's PPR, Kendra, I'm not expecting him to get a ton of receiving work, but it could be close to a 50-50 split today, just with Kamara not playing at 100% and Kendra already kind of starting to work into Kamara's workload. So I don't mind it, but I'm not forcing Kendra Miller into my lineup. Goose the dog, I need to fill a running back, 2 receiver, and a flex. I'm 1-4, need a win. So we need a win. We're going to go upside here, right? JSN, Bill Krosky, Tet London, Rico Sutton, Judkins, Dak May, 4-point passing touchdown. So, trying to look at this. I think between okay. So Sutton is playing right now. So if you started Sutton, unfortunately, there's no way around that. So between then the other receiver spot, it's going to be Drake London. Running back in a flex, I would start. Would I start Rico over Bill this week? I think I would start Rico. I would start Rico as the running back in my flex, and it is between Bill Krosky, Tet McMillan, and Judkins. I think I'm going to go Judkins, honestly, in the flex then. The quarterback then, I'm probably going to go Drake May. The rushing upside can't be beat. So when passing touchdowns are standard scoring. I'm going to take the rushing. Josh, thank you. Was just thinking Travion could be due for a breakout. I will play Ken Bone. I would play Ken Bone. Travion does have that potential today, just with no Antonio Gibson, but the team has not shown really. they yes, Travion, it's going to happen. I'm not ready to say that's exactly going to happen this week. Santino, Josh Allen, Dak, we go Josh Allen. Trust our studs. MK, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert. This one I'm going to go Jordan Love. Um, Herbert, yes, throwing the ball a ton, but offensive line play does play a part in this for him. Leaning Pollard for floor play, up big in projections. Don't hate that at all. Don't hate that at all. Brian on Facebook, Ramondre, DeAndre Swift. I'm honestly going to go DeAndre Swift. Yes, there is potential coming off a bye that like maybe we see like how Manungai get a little more work. I don't think so. After what we've seen so far, I don't think you can automatically just give Manungai more work just because they went to a bye week. That's my point. Better running back start, Bam Knight, Vidal, or Hendo in full PPR. I'm going to take the chance on Hendo at that point. There was a report from Schefter that that Hassan Haskins is going to be the lead guy today, which kind of makes sense because Vidal was on the practice squad and got elevated because of the injury. So I'm going to take the chance on Hendo. There's really no great option, honestly. Like they all have like the bottom out floor. So sorry, I made that question last night. Did not start him, so I would go exactly as I said there. Brian, thank you, brother. You are very, very welcome. Thank you. This Jets Broncos game is bad football. Now what's going on with Denver, man? This is not great. This isn't good. Like yes, the Jets defense is pretty underrated because everyone looks at their record and like yes, they have given up points. I'm not gonna deny that, but like the Jets are shutting you down. It's kind of a problem. So, over on YouTube, Roma Dunze, George Pickens, Drake London, or Tet McMillan, pick two. The two that we're going to go with there are Roma Dunze. Then it's a tough one between Drake London, George Pickens, or at least it's closer than people want to think. I'm going to still go Drake London. Yes, it's Buffalo, but Drake London and Bijan Robinson are the only offensive pieces that they can rely on. Only. Don't no Darnell Mooney this week either. Like that's yeah. Should I drop Kendre for Bam Knights? Man. I think at that point I'm just gonna just go with Kendre. I the Bam Knights thing, I maybe the best way to say it is this. The only people that I will like hold on, sorry about this. Just got a text message. Um, I don't want anything to do with Arizona, honestly. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is a pretty low end flex for me at this point, like a low end wide receiver three, just with Jacoby Brissett. Yes, there are so many nuances to that, but honestly, like Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback, you have no run game right now. Or I shouldn't say you have no run game, but like your run game is just an unknown at this point. I don't want to take any chances that I would just take Kendre at that point. MK, Jared Goff, or Justin Herbert for a different league. I don't mind the Jared Goff shouts. I will probably lean Herbert then on that one, though. Just again, I know exactly what I'm going to get with Herbert, right? We're getting an offense that is going to throw the ball a lot more. Um, and Jared Goff, yes, Kansas City's not a terrible matchup. It like how do I say this? Jared Goff has a ceiling that Herbert is a very similar ceiling to Herbert, but a lower floor, just because it could be a 3 touchdown game for Jared Goff, and it could literally be a 1 touchdown game. That's what it could be. So I'm just gonna take the known there with Justin Herbert. Gosh, Denver, man, they cannot do a single thing on offense. Back to this. this. I feel like I need to like pin this comment like to the top or something. Like just put it like right here. Like Jets Broncos game is bad football. It is. It's a rough watch. So I'm glad that I'm glad that I can add some entertainment for you because this game is not doing that. Keith on Facebook, Derrick Henry or Travion Henderson. I'm gonna go Derrick. I don't feel great about it, honestly. Like I should say this: the expectations just are not the same, right? When Baltimore is fully healthy and everything is clicking right now, obviously. But there is a known here with Derrick Henry that we don't necessarily have with Travion just yet. There was some report. Guess it's not going to be a super rainy game. There was some talk that it was going to be a really rainy kind of weathery game. Apparently not today. So that's great. That's great. Brian, one more. Carter or Chase Brown? Hard to trust Brown up to this point, but what do you think? I would go Chase Brown. I know it's been tough. Joe Flacco in the pocket. Maybe we there's better chances of some check down work that we kind of got last week with Jay Browning. That's what you're banking for. With Michael Carter, you have no way of knowing, right? Like everything that we saw last week is not a guarantee. So I would go with Chase Brown because in this situation, again, I know what I'm getting. And if it's like standard or half PPR, that's tough. But I just, for half PPR and PPR, I'm just going to take what I know, right? Josh Jacobs, Ashton Jetty, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, pick 3. Good Lord. That is, that's it's hard to beat. I think one for sure is Josh Jacobs. Actually, you know what? The 3 that the one that I'm leaving out of this equation, um, might be Rico Dowdle. We're going blurry here. Um, not that I don't think Rico Dowdle. God, why are we going blurry? Why are we going blurry here? What did I do? What did I do? I sat too close. Whatever. Camera. Stupid camera. Um, I guess. Well, so maybe the best way to explain it is why I would start the other 3. Josh Jacobs against Cincinnati. Last time I checked, there is a fully healthy offensive line here in Green Bay. I'm just confirming because the 2 injuries were Aaron Banks and Zach Tom, and I believe both were practicing. So let's look at this. Aaron Banks questionable. He was limited all week. Um, who else we got here? Jordan Morgan was full. He'll play. Zach Tom was limited all week. Rasheed Walker is questionable as well. I'm still going to take Josh Jacobs. I just think points are scored against a soft run defense. Genty against Tennessee. Tennessee has not really stopped the run all year. So if there is a game that Ashton Genty can like take advantage of, this is the one. And Javonte is top 5 in usage this year. So I'm following the usage pretty much with all of them, except for Genty. Genty has been more game script dependent usage, but because he does play Tennessee, I'm trusting game script is there. That's why I'm taking those 3 and not Rico, even though Rico looked really, really good last week. Avery Johnson, Strawberry Lemonade. Hey, Travion or Tootin in the flex and half PPR, that would be Travion. Never mind. Cooper Kupp or Travion in the flex. I would go with Travion on that one. Cooper Kupp is impossible to predict in the Seattle offense. Like he can have like 8 catches, 60 yards, or he can go for like 3 for 20. So that's where I would lean personally. What were the Jets doing at the end of the first half? Honestly, I think they were playing scared. To be completely honest, like I think they didn't think that they were going to be able to drive the ball downfield, but at the same time, they didn't want to give the ball back to Denver, so they just played it safe and played scared. Sea Dog on YouTube, Romeo Dobbs, Kyle Pitts, or Matthew Golden. I'm gonna take the chance on Matthew Golden here on this one. Um, if it's half PPR, it's the chance to score really at that point. And so then it's maybe Kyle Pitts, but I'm going to take Matthew Golden just on the chance that there's a rookie bump coming out of the bye here in Green Bay. There's no guarantee that it happens, but you know. Henry on YouTube, this is serious. Ladder DK. 2 weeks ago, I started DK by accident, but he did really well, so I don't know. Well, so we got lucky on the what was it, like an 80-yard slant route that he housed. So I'm going to say Lad on this one because no Quentin Johnson. So one less mouth to feed, and he's arguably the guy, right? I shouldn't say he was the guy, but he was getting the high value touches in this offense, which were downfield red zone looks. And he's out today. So between him and Keenan Allen, who's going to be the guy that's going to step up there? And I don't want to necessarily say who's going to be the downfield guy because, again, I think the offensive line is so bad that they kind of have to kind of methodically work their way downfield. But who's going to be the guy then in the red zone? I think it's going to be a Lab. So I'm going to go Lab. And DK, DK is a tough one. Like he's a low end wide receiver just because he's playing Arthur Smith offense, and Arthur Smith is not letting DK go. Rams defense or Titans this week? Rams defense, easy, very very easy for me. Panthers defense has been good against the run. Yes, but at the same time, this is what we've said again for Dallas like all year, right? Like we said, Philly was going to be a great run defense. We said Green Bay was going to be great. Like Javonte has kind of proven that. I don't want to say he has proven that despite tough matchups, he can still come through. Not saying he's matchup proof, but he can come through in difficult matchups. I'm not denying though. Carolina's run defense has been a little better, or has been better this year than in years past. But I'm still going to just trust Dallas's offense. That honestly, like we're kind of looking at 2024 Cincinnati levels of offense here. Maverick over on YouTube, Gino or Brissett, Superflex, and have Lamar out. Can I throw out a couple more names? I'm assuming that most quarterbacks are going to be rostered here. If Mac Jones is rostered or is not rostered, I would go pick a Mac Jones and start him. If a guy like I think that's the only guy, honestly. If Mac Jones is available, go pick him up. But if you're choosing between Gino and Jacoby Brissett, maybe Jacoby Brissett, man. There's not much I trust from Vegas' offense, and Gino has not played well. So yes, is there a matchup here? Sure, but I feel like this is a gen team. That's all that it is. He's on Facebook. Bourne or Jennings if he plays. Between the two of them, I'm going Jennings. Jennings is playing today, or at least he's expected to play. I would lean Jennings, but Bourne is not. It is a pretty decent kind of like deeper league shout for a flex. Sam Rico or Tet. Between the two, I think if you're going PPR, go Tet. If you're going half PPR, go Rico. I don't think that we're going to see 200 yards that we saw from Rico last week. Henry, okay, thanks. Y'all been helping me out for like 2 years. That's what we're here, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Trev, my guy, good morning. Tuning in late, League One in the flex. Waller or Diggs in League 2, McConkey or Njoku. First league, I'm going to go with Diggs. There are some people that are kind of hesitant with the New Orleans matchup. I'm not. When Diggs over the last 2 weeks has become the wide receiver one in terms of routes run on this New England team, and he's been targeted on 49% of them. Hello. I'm going to go Diggs. I know Waller's been great. Not saying that we've been kind of lucky here the last 2 weeks, but 2 touchdowns in his first game back, then a 34-yard catch and a touchdown against Carolina on very limited. I shouldn't say very, on still limited work in snaps. I'm not going to take the chance with Waller. I'm going to go Diggs there, especially again because I know what I'm getting with Diggs. But then between Ladin and Joku, I'm probably going to go Lad. I'm going to take the chance on Lad with no QJ today. MK, Bill Stevenson, or Henderson, Bill Krosky. Spades, Jordan Love, or Jared Goff. Go with Jordan Love on that one. Dallas, Olave at New England, Dobbs at the Bengals. I yes, Christian Gonzalez is playing. I still want to go with Chris Olave though, because there's that that he's going to get looks. Romeo Dobbs, it's tough. I I feel like the floor is lower with Dobbs, just slightly lower than Olave's. Yes, he has the higher ceiling. So maybe here's the predicament. If you are down big, right, and you need upside and you need a miracle, go Dobbs. But I'm saying I know what I'm getting with Olave. I know what kind of receiver that he is in this offense. I'm going to go with Olave there. To go on YouTube, Olave or Diggs, then between those two, I'm going Diggs. I'm going Diggs on that one. Sam Chase Brown or Bill Krosky, going Bill Krosky. Trevor, you called the Diggs comeback. I trusted this since my draft. Hey, I'm talking about. I've been on that. It was a little slow, a little worried at the beginning there, but we eventually got it going. It's been great. It's been great. Answered that Olave Diggs one. Mac Jones or Sam Darnold. Between the two of them, I'm honestly going to go Mac Jones. Not that Sam Darnold is a bad fantasy quarterback. He's quarterback 20 in points per game. I think Mac Jones is kind of reminding people that, like, yes, he is still a very good quarterback. He was just dealt a very bad hand when he was in New England and then also in Jacksonville. In a Kyle Shanahan offense, he can make it work. And I'm pretty sure he was expected to play. That was the last that I heard. And I hope that you're asking because you've also seen the same report. I hope that's what the expected to play. Wild but true from how about this? Mac Jones is averaging 301 passing yards per game, which leads the NFL. Mac Jones. I'm gonna go Mac Jones on that one. Alvin Kamara, Michael Carter. Between the two, I'm going to go Kamara, but I don't feel great about Kamara this week, not being at 100%, and Kendra Miller working into his workload. Michael Carter, same thing. I've explained already. I don't want anything to do with Arizona this week. Bam Knight is supposed to be the starter this week over Michael Carter, or at least going to be more featured. Who knows? So if you're not sold on any of them, maybe you go find like go find like maybe a Zach Charbonnet if he's available. I would play Charbonnet over them, but still probably lean Kamara. Gosh, that one's sorry. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the question. The question is gross. I hate this. I don't like this question. I feel sorry that you're in this predicament, but I would go with Kamara on this one. RJ Harvey, I believe leads the Broncos in catches in this game at this point. With 8 minutes left in the third quarter, RJ Harvey has 5 catches, I believe. He has 4 catches. That was his 4th catch. Yikes. This is not a good look for Denver. I'm just saying, not a good look at all. At all. Rams over the Lions defense, I would play the Rams almost. If the Rams are available on your waiver wire, I would play them no matter what. Marvin Mims out of the backfield. You know it's gross when we have to get Marvin Mims in the backfield and have him on a wheel route to generate some offense. Gross. Back to this question though. Rams over the Lions defense, yes. If the Rams are available right now in your league, I would go pick up the Rams and play them. I think they are like one of the top 3 defensive units that you can play this week. Colts are another one. The Colts would be in the top 3 as well. If any of those 2 are available, go pick them up and play them. Olave, Harrison, BTJ, Tucker, and Dobbs pick 2. Also, is it time to panic on BTJ? No, no. Continue. At this point, had you asked me like 3 weeks ago, I may have said panic. I would have been a little more panicked. But BTJ is kind of their only pass catcher at this point, with no Brenton Strange, Travis Hunter, maybe getting more involved in the offense as we go on. But like BTJ is kind of their go-to guy in the passing game, so I'm not panicking. Is it worrisome, or is it concerning a little bit just to see what the games have been like? Yes, obviously, because he spent such a high draft pick on him after what he did last year. But I'm not panicking really with BTJ. But back to the question though, between Olave, Marvin Harrison, BTJ, Tucker, Trey Tucker, Romeo Dobbs, and pick 2, the 2 that we're picking there are Brian Thomas Jr. and Chris Olave. I ooh, that's a Pat Bryant showing. That's not Pat Bryant. That's not his name. That's his name. That's Pat Bryant. That's his name. That's his name. I'm not going crazy. That's Pat Bryant. Why did I think that was wrong? It's Pat Bryant. That was okay. Well, you know what? Almost dropped it though. Boy. Stevenson or Gainwell this week. I'm going to go Ramondre. Now that Jalen Warren is back. Sam thinks if I didn't draft Malik Neighbors, I would be undefeated. That sucks. That sucks. But maybe, glass half full look at it is that, Malik Neighbors only really had like 1 or 2 games where he legitimately like made a difference. The other 2 games, like there were some games where he really was a non-factor and you were still winning. So it does hurt though that you lost your first round draft pick. Jesse on Facebook, I've got Henry and Dowdle starting. Do I bench Henry for Bill? Can I get bold? I personally would start Bill over Derrick Henry. I personally would. And that is wild to say. We did not think that was going to be possible at the beginning of the year. I just hate the matchup. In Baltimore, show me nothing with Cooper Rush. Absolutely nothing. That makes me feel good about Derrick Henry. Yes, he scored last week, but I don't. Man, like I really don't know what the, I don't know what the pro Henry argument is. We're not getting, 20 carries for 100 yards. We're not getting 2 touchdowns. And if we do, I will hold my hands up and be like, well, I want to see exactly how that happened. Boy, Nix does not look good. Does not look good. I personally would. I know the other 2 fellows would say I'm crazy for that. But I literally on our starts and sits episode, I literally said Derrick Henry is a sit, and they complained because I said if you have the luxury, and guess what? Guess what, Jesse? You have the luxury of going with Bill. I would. Thanks for the help, of course, anytime. MK, thanks for telling me to draft a Dunze. What can I say, man? What can I say? What can I say? Some of those mid-round receivers that I was in on this year, and the fellas too. I'll give them some credit too. Have absolutely been sweet. Roma Dunze, Stephon Diggs. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Cosmic Flyer on YouTube, Bill or BTJ. Between those 2, I think if it's PPR, you go BTJ. Half PPR, I might go Bill. I don't think you can go wrong starting BTJ in any kind of format. That's ultimately where I land. Oh, Sean, just quit whining. Quit whining, Sean Payton. You've done more than enough, my guy. Let's do this. I'm gonna pull up some some tweets about some inactives. And we'll go. We'll go from there. Actives today include Zay Flowers, Alvin Kamara, Christian Gonzalez. Inactives today include Quentin Johnson, Kyler Murray, Devon Witherspoon. For our slot receiver in San Francisco, that would be Kendrick Bourne. No, Seattle's they're playing Jacksonville. The slot receiver in Jacksonville is Travis Hunter. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Maybe we see a little more Travis Hunter. Maybe. What are some other ones? Is Milton Williams? Milton Williams is active. There was a report that he was questionable because of an illness. He is officially playing. Hudson, Calvin Ridley, Hassan Haskins. Probably Calvin Ridley. Probably going to go Calvin Ridley. I just don't have much confidence in either of them, but I know what I'm getting here with Calvin Ridley, and I don't have a commodity doll threat here, right? With Ridley, yes. Excuse me. Alec Iomanner is involved in this offense, but you can tell based on my reaction how I exactly feel about Tennessee pass catching situation. Let's see. Also, Terry McLaurin is out this week, so it makes it 2 straight weeks. And Debo is also questionable. It sounds like Debo should be playing in this one, or should be playing tomorrow night. So we'll see. We're just kind of going through some updates. There was an update. So the Bengals' exhaustive QB search included calling nearly all teams with 3 quarterback or a viable practice squad option. Among the names inquired about were Davis Mills from the Texans, gross. Sam Howell from the Eagles, gross. And Derek Carr. No call on Ryan Tannehill, who hasn't played in 2 years. That's crazy. And yet no call into the Giants. That's crazy. That, again, you called nearly all teams with 3 quarterbacks, or a viable practice squad option. The Giants, Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. That's 3. I have a feeling that everyone in Cincinnati is fired after this year. Maybe that's not like groundbreaking. That's not a hot take. I could care less. Everyone in Cincinnati is fired after this year if they keep doing what they're doing. I'm not saying that's malpractice of a front office, but like you thought Joe Flacco. I don't know. The given pick 2, David Montgomery, Jalen Warren, Alvin Kamara. We're gonna go Monty and Warren on that one. If you've in that situation, you've got the luxury of sitting a guy like Alvin Kamara. So, some more updates for you. Jamar Chase is expected to play against the Packers. That I think everyone knew that was still going to happen. It was just an illness that he was dealing with. Zay Flowers, obviously. Juwan Jennings expected to play. Mac Jones expected to play. Kyler Murray, obviously, no. Joe Flacco is the starter in Cincinnati for this game. Why does Schefter have to tweet this out? Today marks the 36th anniversary of the Cowboys trading Herschel Walker to the Vikings. Why did he need to tweet that out, man? Why didn't he need to tweet that out? That's just not necessary. Not necessary at all. Well, Bunga, thank you for the super chat there. Bam Knight or Tez Johnson. Between those two, I'm going to go Bam Knight. I don't think Tez Johnson should be in any fantasy lineups at all. So I'm definitely going to go Bam Knight. Thank you for the super chat, though. Soccer star Ken Walker or Jalen Waddle. I'm going to go Jalen Waddle. on that one. Not that I don't think Ken Walker is a bad player or anything, but uh, I know that Waddle is the guy in that passing game, so I'm gonna ride with Waddle on that one. Um, we will go until the end of this Denver Jets game. It looks like Denver ball, 3.5 minutes left, 2nd and 7. Oh, Marvin Mims. Again, when we need to give the ball to Marvin Mims out of the backfield, we cannot do anything on offense. That's not good. It's not good at all. JT, who should start in my flex? Michael Pittman, Keenan Allen, Trey McBride. Who's your tight end? That's what I want. I'm curious about. Who's the tight end? Rez played fairly well last week, and no Godwin or Mike today, which is true. But I still don't think that like Tez Johnson is exactly like a need to start because of injuries. What did you do last week? The 4 for 59. Yeah, I don't know if we're exactly going to get that again. Bro, what is bro? There might be a Bo Nix problem in Denver. I'm just gonna say it. Yes, he played fairly well. But I'm not taking that chance on Tez Johnson. Who should I start in my flex? Pittman or Keenan Allen, McBride, obviously. Tight end is Jake Ferguson. I'm gonna go Trey McBride still. Like, I know Pittman has been coming through, but like he's been getting bailed out by touchdowns recently. I don't know if that's exactly the most sticky stat. I shouldn't say I don't know. It is not the most sticky stat. But McBride is still like focal point of the Arizona passing offense. It's not going to look great, but if there's a guy that's still going to get looks in Arizona this week, it is Trey McBride. So I would go with McBride still. Facebook from Jason, Tony Pollard or Kareem Hunt. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard on that one. A matchup against Vegas, who have been so on defense, or at least in run defense. I just think game script will allow Tony Pollard to kind of like continue and remain involved. That's really what it comes down to. So, all right, Jets ball in their 43, 2:20 left, down 2. You need a field goal. You need a field goal, you know. I'll watch snap, and Brees Hall is a beast. I wonder if he's going to get traded. I feel like there's going to be a team that would be willing to pay up, like the Chicago Bears. What was it? There was a team that was looking for a running back. Oh, was it the Chargers? Is that what I saw? It was the Chargers. Yes, the Chargers want a running back. Yes, you have Amari and Hampton, but then Amari and Hampton, Brees Hall backfield for the future. I think Jim Harbaugh would have a he might be the happiest man on planet Earth at that point. Who are some other teams that could take in a Brees Hall or that would want a Brees Hall? I wouldn't be surprised if oh shoot, I didn't realize that. My bad. I hope it hasn't been going on for too long. No, it's my bad. Sorry about that. Cosmic Flyer, Waller, or Tonjes. We're gonna go with Darren Waller on that one. Mo Bunga, start 2, Zay Flowers, Juwan Jennings, Tony Pollard. I'm gonna go with Juwan Jennings, and between him and Tony Pollard, maybe it's because of Bluetooth. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes the equipment just acts up. I really don't know. Start 2, Zay Flowers, Juwan Jennings, Tony Pollard. Oof. I'm I'm probably going to go with Jennings and Pollard, honestly. Not much I trust in Baltimore either. I'm going to be honest. I have a Dunze, Ertz, Debo. Should I go Caleb for the quadruple punisher on my opponent or play it safe and start May? I would start May. I don't mind the stack, right, with Rome. But I would still go May. I feel like May's ceiling is just higher just because of rushing upside, and we haven't seen that same rushing upside from Caleb since week 1, relatively speaking. Answered this one already. Snoopy, Henderson, or Hassan Haskins. Thank you. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go Hassan Haskins. Is it possible that we get fooled and that it's Kamani Vidal? Oh, it was Mike Garafolo who said it. Is it possible that Travion has the better game at the end of the day? Yes, obviously. I'm just gonna take the chance that Haskins is the lead guy, like Mike Garafolo said. In Travion again, I'm still expecting Ramondre to kind of be the lead guy. So we'll see. Will Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers are going to go Diggs. Diggs might just be a must start for me this week. Again, when you are targeted on 49% of your routes over the last 2 weeks, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat that with anybody else. So, all right. Jets are methodically moving the ball downfield. Denver is going to try to preserve as much time as possible. Oh, old man Nick Folk. Yes. Yes. Exactly who I want. Exactly who I want. Kicking my game-winning field goal. Oh, man. I'm surprised he's still on the league. Nick Folk is forever a legend. Didn't he go through Tennessee last year? Am I making that up? Or he was in Tennessee in recent memory? He was, let's see this. He was in Tennessee the last 2 years. That man had nothing to do. He went 29 for 30 and 21 to 22. That man has missed 2 kicks in the last 3 years so far. Nick Folk, legend. So start Daniel Jones or Justin Herbert and start sit Ken Walker or Lamar McConkey in the flex. Oh, Denver got to Justin Fields. There's an offensive lineman complaining about something. Between the quarterbacks, I'm probably going to go. I'm going to go Herbert on that one. It's not that I don't think Daniel Jones is a bad play, but Charvarius Ward suffered a concussion in pregame. How do you do that? How do you suffer a concussion in pregame? That's sad. That's tough. I'm going to go Herbert. Back to the question. I'm going to go Herbert at quarterback, and then between Ken Walker and Ladd in the flex. I think if it's half PPR, go with Ken Walker. If it's full PPR, go with Ladd McConkey. MK, Roma Junze, Quinshot Judkins. You know my answer, boy. You know my answer. I'm a Rome truther through and through. But at the same time, I think you can't go wrong with either of them. I'm personally a Rome truther. I can't go wrong with either. So, all right, 3rd and 8 with 1:20 left. Jets have the ball on what? They're on Denver's 41, 45, 45, 44, 44. I was wrong. All right, let's see what the Jets do. I feel like they need to get a first down. No, duh. They need to get a first. They have to have a first down. Oh, Garrett is open. Bro, dude, Justin Fields. Dude, Justin Fields might just end up having Garrett Wilson killed one day. Thank you. Of course. BTJ or Metcalf, we're going to go BTJ from Dylan. Dylan, thanks for tuning in. Gosh, that ball needs to be out a full second sooner. And that ball goes upfield. Bro. Oh, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's a 3-step drop at the top of your drop, then fire it out. That's a quick out. That's all that route is, and he was open. I don't know what we're doing, man. Fields has these issues. He's kind of like a Caleb Williams in the sense that like he has really good moments, and then he has these moments where bingo, and that's a face mask. How was that not a face mask? Unless he got him like across the neck. How's that not? Yeah, this game has been so bad. Fields' processing speed and throwing motion is so slow. It's so slow. Oh, that was just that was behind. Yeah, Fields waited till Wilson was covered. He waited until Wilson got to the sideline. That ball needs to be out by the time that Wilson is breaking off of his route. That's what he need. That's when that ball needs to go. So, oh gosh, gross quarterback play is what gets you a 13-11 game in London. London has had some stinkers so far. Minnesota, Cleveland last week, Denver, the Jets this week, just not great. All right. Game over for Denver. They're going to go to 4-2 somehow. Some way. Sean Payton really needs to go back to the drawing board. When we have, I'll say this again, when we have to give touches to Marvin Mims out of the backfield to generate some kind of offense, something is not working. That you need to simplify it or just find what your team does good at and just that last play they ran was terrible. I feel like the Jets were just, yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Weird game. If I'm Denver, I'm not going around like celebrating this. This should feel like a loss. Obviously, it's a loss for the Jets because they lost the game. If I'm Denver, I'm walking away like this is a loss. This was not a good game whatsoever. What the heck happened to Dobbins today? Jets run defense just, I don't want to say they sold out. I think they just kind of said Bo Nix can beat us, right? Because this year the Jets are playing. I'm gonna pull this up. The Jets are playing how much zone or how much man coverage? They're playing man coverage at the 6th highest rate. So when you've got a team like Denver, right, that doesn't really have a true separator, right? Like Courtland Sutton is a solid receiver, but he's such a bigger receiver that he's not a separator. You have Sauce Gardner covering him, so he's locked out for the entire game, right? Then you've got Troy Franklin, who is either somewhere downfield or he's design touch guy. Same with Marvin Mims. Denver doesn't really have a separator. And so what ended up happening is that we then see like Evan Ingram, right? Because Evan Ingram, I think he had the most catches today. He had 5 catches for 42 yards. That's a linebacker safety matchup on the tight end. And that's where they're weakest in coverage is linebacker and safety. So he's going to get the most looks. So they just sold out. I can't say that they sold out because sold out is pretty general. I think they stepped up the defense, or they stepped up the run intensity. I think is the best way to say it. They stepped up the run intensity and just dared Bo Nix to try to beat them against their coverage. And when they did, it was with Evan Ingram, but they never continued with it because I think they were so worried about trying to get a run game going. So that's what happened to Dobbins today. Diggs, Lat McConkey, or Bill in my flex. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs on that one. All right, y'all. We we've been alive for about an hour now. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat here. But I'm probably going to just let you guys, I'm going to turn you loose. Go get ready for the remaining games today. Try to rinse yourself of this Denver Jets game because it was not worth watching. It was not worth getting up for this morning. So Gerard on YouTube in PPR, T. Higgins, Zach Charbonnet, Kendrick Bourne. I'm going to get gross. I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne. Why not? Let's go Kendrick Bourne. So, all right, y'all. Again, hope all the advice helped. If you're not following, if you're not subscribed, it goes a long way. It's greatly appreciated. Also, go ahead and leave a like on this wherever you're watching, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Also goes a long way. And much appreciated as well, more than you guys know. Tune in for our podcast episodes that come out. We do 3 episodes a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do our trend near ending. I think we're going to switch it up here a little bit, similar style or similar concepts, but just switching up a little bit as we kind of gear up for the second half of the fantasy year. Wednesday is our trade advice episode. So you can go to our latest trades episode. Go ahead and drop your trades in the comments if you want us to kind of rate and kind of break down your trades. And then on Thursday is our 18 players that have, to make a difference in your fantasy matchups. So we do all that, but then we also have our short form videos that come out every single day. So we post content for you to help out with your lineups and to ultimately win your leagues every single day. So last couple questions here. Would you start in full PPR, Matthew Golden, Marvin Harrison, or Calvin Ridley? I'm going to go upside and just go Matthew Golden. Honestly, I think they all have similar floors. I'm just going to go Golden because I think he's got the higher upside. Thank you for the stream. Have a great rest of your day. Likewise. And thank you for the kind words. Mobunga, do you play Dynasty? I do play Dynasty. I do play a fair amount of Dynasty, actually. So, all right, y'all. Again, enjoy week 6. Hopefully, we come away with some W's, and if not, we come back. We go back to the drawing board, and we do it again. So, all righty. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you later.